Well, if you stand back here, it should be okay, shouldn't it? I think you can see enough of the pitch there.
So you're live.
Okay, so we're just talking now with Adam Hills, my co-commentator this afternoon. Hillsy, this is a bit of a test.
Hello.
Just to test the sound levels. If you move a little bit closer to your mouth.
Oh, yes.
And then speak, talk a little bit.
Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me?
What do you think, Lee? Is that about right, volume-wise?
Down to
Is that okay?
Yes. 86 minutes. Right, stop home battery. You said it was 170 a minute ago. Oh no, it's going down.
Were you doing the games last year for FC Video?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've forgotten your name.
Dom.
Dom, that's right. Yeah, you did a few of the games, didn't you?
fan.
Yeah. Oh right, that's it. It's bloody cold up here, though.
I was going to say, it's
Even when the weather was nice last season. Well, good afternoon. Welcome to Grosvenor Vale for the Wealdstone FC TV production of Wealdstone against Torquay United in the Vanarama National League. I'm Tim Parks, and I'm joined today by Adam Hills.
Hello,
Afternoon, Hillsy.
Howdy.
For the on co-coms this afternoon, and we're back in live stream land. Sadly,
Yeah.
at Wealdstone, we spent a very well disruptive season last year. Obviously, the only coverage that people saw of the Wealdstone games and the opponents' games were by live stream. It was the last thing we wanted, wasn't it, Hillsy? The ground being shut.
I mean, I don't think anyone, if you could have said we would have been back up here for any reason, a rickety fence was probably not the most obvious of reasons for that. But I mean, it is what it is, and we just got to make the most of it today.
Yeah, well, welcome to Wealdstone fans watching on, hopefully in their hundreds, even thousands, possibly, and for the Goals fans from Torquay tuning in for this game. Great to have you with us. For people who weren't aware of the circumstances why this game was called off, the fence to the far side behind the left-hand goal, as we're at Grosvenor Vale, collapsed towards the end of the game against Dover through a crowd surge.
for a goal.
For a goal, yeah. Was that the
worth
winning
highlighting
goal
that.
against Dover, wasn't it? The 2-1
Ashley
win
Charles's goal.
back in January. And the crowd, despite that, there's a new fence was put in place there in front of where the Vanarama sign is at that far left-hand goal. And the council gave that a thumbs up, no problem at all. And we then welcomed crowds, well, opposition crowds of over 1,000 in that same stand. And in the Wrexham game a week ago, there was 2 very late goals for Wrexham. The crowd got very excited, surged towards the handrail, which you can probably see on that, the fence behind the goal. Well, actually, it's not there now, obviously, the handrail, as it collapsed. Not much of a barrier, but it was enough for the Hillingdon Council to become about as popular as Vladimir Putin on Thursday.
Oh, you've gone there already.
I've gone there already.
Oh, blimey.
I couldn't resist it. So, yeah, everybody's very upset here at Wealdstone, but it could be, I suppose, in a way, it could be a blessing in disguise because the ground will have to now be fit for purpose as regards the fencing anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we've found now with, obviously with behind closed doors games last year, the ground was never really put through its paces. And as we found this year with big crowds from Southend, Grimsby, Notts County and Wrexham last week, you know, this is an old ground. It is a small ground for, you know, the level and it is starting to tear at the seams, as the phrase goes.
Yeah, well, those fences are 60 years old around the wooden fences around the ground.
Just like yourself, right?
Very similar. In fact, I must be slightly older than that, but I wasn't here when they're constructed, so I can't say how well they were put together. But at Wealdstone people, we love this ground because it was a rebirth of the club in 2008 when we managed to secure a lease here. And then the club has literally spent hundreds of thousands bringing up to standard. First for Ryman League, Premier Division football, and then to get into the National League. Mm-hmm. And then again, promotion in the midst of COVID, spending another £100,000 when there was no income to the club was a real, cross to bear, I think, for everybody here. So it was a bit of a kick in the nuts to then have the ground closed.
It is. I guess. Yes, there's been a lot of investment put into this ground, but when that investment starts at such a comparatively low level, I used to play here at Rice Manor with Paul Franklin and a few others, and the ground now is completely unrecognisable to what it was, which was, let's be honest, a glorified park pitch. Back in the day.
Well, the surface was notoriously bad, wasn't it?
Yeah. Used to have a big crater just outside the penalty area there. It used to break a few ankles in its day.
I suppose when you were playing on it, you knew the vagaries of the pitch, didn't you? Really?
Stick away from there.
But that's a lovely surface. I mean, Adam Rowland and Fingers Fruin, who's Fingers Fruin, the Wealdstone Club secretary, celebrates his 60th birthday on Monday. So happy birthday, Fingers, for Monday. What a guy. Yeah, he's a Wealdstone FC Trojan. He really is, Fingers Fruin. So hope you have a good day. And what will be nicer for Fingers than 3 points this afternoon? But what do you reckon, Hilsey? What do you think Wealdstone's chances?
I like the team. Good to see Jack Cook and Nick Tavares back. With Jerome and Jaden Mundle-Smith dropping to the bench, it gives the bench a very strong feel to it. I think the thing that's interesting for me, this kicks off a run of 4, I think what you'd call winnable games. And I think it's important to understand or look at those 4 games in the context of what comes after it when you've got Stockport, Bromley, Chesterfield. We need to get some points on the board. And whilst we've got a little bit of a cushion, I'm assuming Weymouth didn't grab a late leveller at Stockport.
No, they were beaten 1-0.
They were beaten 1-0. But, it's 9 points at the moment. But you don't want to get dragged into it. Bear in mind as well that Maidenhead just around us and Weymouth below us are 2 of those 4 coming up in the next few weeks. So, massive game today.
Massive game. The results today, though, before kick-off of this game, Wealdstone are down to 19th. We dropped a further place. But we're a win today and could be up to 14th, as we were discussing earlier.
Yeah, it's mad. And you see a couple of those teams who have been sort of quite comfortable mid-table, Woking and Eastleigh in particular, are starting to get dragged into it a little bit. And when I say dragged into it, there's still that gap, but they're in that sort of pack who are maybe looking over their shoulders.
Well, an interesting comparison today. Wealdstone are 9 points off the drop zone, the final relegation place. Torquay United are 9 points off the playoffs. So there's a comparison between the 2 teams. Wealdstone looking behind them a little bit, Torquay looking upwards, and 3 points today is going to be pretty well crucial to the next few weeks and the optimism surrounding both teams, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Well, the teams are now coming out, as we can see, below us. Wealdstone in their usual blue shirts, white shorts, white stockings, as we like to call them, and Torquay in their traditional yellow and blue. And we mentioned the lineups earlier. Wealdstone's only 2 changes from Tuesday night's unfortunate late 2-1 defeat to Solihull Moors is Nick Tavares is coming in, together with Jack Cook returning from suspension after his sending off here last Saturday. Otherwise, it's an unchanged team. Wealdstone with George Wickens in goal. The back three rather, Jack Cook, David Cisse, Conor McAvoy, Nicola Tavares. Cisse will be playing right wing back, left wing back. Charles Claydon, I'd imagine.
Yes.
Left of 5 in midfield.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing him play.
Yeah, you didn't see the game on Tuesday, did
No,
you? He was very impressive.
Yeah, I was in Athens this week with work,
Oh,
so I didn't make Solihull, unfortunately.
I'm sure it's a bit warmer than Solihull on a Tuesday
Only
night.
just. It was not warm for that part of the world at that time of year, but he had quite a. Obviously, when we had that big chance on last Saturday against Wrexham.
Yeah.
You know, he had that chance to make it 2-0.
Could have made it 2-0, killed the game probably.
But yeah, looking forward to him. He looks lively.
He's a teenager, isn't he? And he's brought on loan from Charlton Athletic together with Aaron Henry, the midfielder. And those two, together with the capture of Nathan Ferguson, who's wearing 7 today, it's really turned Wealdstone's season around a little bit in the last few weeks. 2 wins, 2 defeats, but suddenly we're looking like we can score goals. And when you score goals, you've got a chance of winning games, obviously, Hilsey.
I think it's the balance of that midfield that's changed as well. Ferguson has given us a little bit of drive and impetus in there. Kind of personified by the goal he scored at Barnet, you know, kind of arriving late, drove into the box, crack and strike. I think that's a little bit of what we've been missing. So,
well, we've hardly this season not really had a midfielder and get beyond the forwards.
No,
which is always a sign for me of a good offensive midfielder.
And he's powerful as well.
Looking across at the Torquay side, Tom Lapsley looking very energetic already. Game hasn't even started. Torquay United in goal, Sean McDonald. Number 2, Ben Winter. Number 4, Tom Lapsley. Number 7, Connor Lemony Evans. Number 9, Danny Wright. Number 10, Armani Little, the captain. Number 12, Stephen Warren. Number 4, Kiori Johnson. Number 15, Stephen Duke McKenna. Number 21, Dean Moxey. And number 31, Joe Lewis, who scored a spectacular goal at Plainmoor as Wealdstone were beaten surprisingly 5-0 down there early in the season. An early free kick given away by Danny Wright for his challenge on Nick Tavares. Or Nathan. Nick Tavares. He looked like Nick Tavares was wearing 7 then for a moment, but he's not. And so it's a free kick for Wealdstone, deep in their own half. Wickens plays long, looking for the impressive presence of Josh Umera, who of course was a Torquay United player last season, joined the Stones in the summer. Cook playing out towards Tavares, and there's an early injury. And I think that's Danny Wright, who's pointing to his thigh and complaining about what he thought was a late challenge. Referee today is David Richardson. I thought he might have a chat with his linesman about that, whether there was a foul involved. Did you see anything there, Hilsey?
He's allowed the game to go on, so I'm assuming he'll give the ball back to us, which he has done.
He has, yeah. Wealdstone in possession, and Cook again. Looking to play cross field towards Charles Claydon. He was never going to make it, and Ashley Charles has lost possession, I think. Good work by Stephen Duke McKenna, the loanee from Queen's Park Rangers. The Duke, as he's known down on Plainmoor. Good work by Ashley Charles, and the referee's going to blow up there. Any sort of contact these days, Hilsey, you can earn a free kick.
Well, the cynic in me would say it depends which colour shirt you're wearing. I think we've been a little bit
on the receiving end.
Hard done by certain officials this season.
Good work by Nick Tavares, the returning Nick Tavares, the ex-Crystal Palace player, who's he's reputed to be probably the best defender in the Wealdstone squad, although Wealdstone are rich in that respect. Jack Cook and Colin McAvoy, the 2 central defenders, have been excellent this season. Cook was sent off last Saturday. This is information for the Gulls fans. Cook was sent off against Wrexham for his 2nd yellow card. And that free kick led to Wrexham equalising in controversial circumstances that we'll talk about later, I'm sure.
They're different defenders, Cook and Tavares, though. You know, Cook is your sort of your marshal, your linchpin, your organiser in there. Tavares is very athletic, very good on the ball. You know, I fully expect Tavares will be playing Football League football again before long.
Well, he's certainly got scouts down here watching. I'm sure there are a few today as well, despite it being behind closed doors. And Wealdstone lost the ball there. Aaron Henry being dispossessed. And here's a chance for Duke McKenna into the box, but an easy catch for George Wickens. So an early threat on the right there from the QPR loanee, who's impressed all and sundry at Plainmoor since he came down from London. And a poor ball towards Umera, who was in and out of the Torquay side last season. Scored a few goals. He's Wealdstone's top scorer with 10, I believe, this season. I think it was 10, certainly 8.
No, yeah, I think he's up to 10 now. He got a couple in hit a little bit of a barren run, but a couple of goals in the last few games. He's certainly split opinion here, I think.
Yeah, we scored a lovely goal at Barnet in Wealdstone's historic 3-1 win 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and what a goal that was. Team goal, you know.
Lovely, yeah, with Tavares involved, funnily enough. Nathan Ferguson throwing his weight around a bit on Tom Lapsley. He's appealing. Tom Lapsley was hugely influential, I thought, in the game at Plainmoor when Torquay were 5-0 winners back in October, the ex-Colchester United player. Loads of experience. And that's, of course, one of the two differences between these two teams. Wealdstone with an average age of 23, I think it is.
Yeah, there's a lot of experience in that Torquay side with Danny Wright and Dean Moxey. And I mean, they've got Asa Hall. I don't think he's in the squad, is he? I don't know if he's out injured, but there's plenty of experience there.
But Wickens comes comfortably for that free kick from Little, the captain.
One
up towards Reece Brown. But comfortably dealt with by Kiora Johnson. And to see Sean McDonald has put his white cap on. Must be a very low sun shining across the gantry here.
Yeah, it's been a lovely day, but now the sun's going down and the wind's picking up a little bit. It is, it's chilly up here.
Well, having had the pleasure of commentating on nearly every game last season, it was always cold, even in May at the end of the season. Somehow, it managed to get down to 10 degrees or below up here as the wind whips across. A great crossfield ball there by McKenna, but that's going into the arms of Wickens. Well, nothing much between the two teams at the moment. Probably Torquay more considered in their possession. Wealdstone attending just to throw the ball forward.
Well done, Josh.
Good work by Umera. Lapsley managed to get a toe in, though, to squeeze the ball away from Nathan Ferguson, the player that Wealdstone captured from Southend United and has been influential in his 4 games so far. 2 wins, 2 draws. Charles Claydon has lost out to Kiora Johnson, who's gone in a great position here.
Well done, George.
Good work by George Wickens. Well, I'll put money on Danny Wright finding a position in the box there, but it's much too near the keeper. But Wickens has got an extraordinary reach, hasn't he?
He does. Yeah, very good with his hands. His kicking came in for a bit of criticism last Saturday, and he gave Tavares a bit of a
conditions
pass earlier in this game as well.
Yeah, he has been a little bit unorthodox in his kicking, but he's struggling against a tremendous wind, as everybody was last Saturday in the Wrexham game. The ball was bobbling ferociously all over the place. And here's Torquay building on the left through Dean Moxey. And on the ball now is Armani Little. Trying to create an opening. He's going to sling it to the back post. No, he didn't. Play it inside instead to Lemony Evans.
Be careful there.
It's a good ball towards right, but again, Wickens using all of his 6'3" or 4".
Yeah, well, you can see what Wright's doing. He's hanging off Claydon out the back there, and there's a real mismatch for those high balls. You've got to be very aware of that.
Yeah, well, Charles Claydon, the Charlton Athletic loanee, who's playing on the left side of the midfield 5, but he'll have defensive duties as well, won't he? He's going to have to come back, and he's going to be a mismatch, as you said, for height with the tall Torquay forwards.
Yeah, we've struggled to impose ourselves on this in this sort of opening 10 minutes or so.
Well, on the absolute carpet that was the pitch at Solihull on Tuesday night, Wealdstone were fizzing the ball around, and we've certainly not done that so far. There's a loose pass, and Ashley
But
Charles.
I mean, this pitch ain't bad either.
No, it's good. Oh, Ashley Charles not quite taken under the orbit of Reece Brown. The Wealdstone number 10, who was formerly at Yeovil back in the day, as was his dad, Steve Brown. And they throw up the line towards Newton McKenna, is intercepted, and there's Umera using his strength. And then Lapsley playing a ball up the line that's collected by McAvoy, and that's going to be a Wealdstone throw. I think Torquay were expecting a throw or a free kick there.
Yeah, we'll take that one.
Yeah.
I think that was the one thing it wasn't, but, you know.
Linesman was close enough to have an opinion there, as Gary Johnson
Out of his box already.
is asking
Literally.
the Torquay manager. Good work by Aaron Henry, the Charlton loanee. He's been excellent in his 4 games so far. And Nathan Ferguson, the other one who joined a month ago. 2 weeks ago, rather. Nick Tavares and Ashley Charles trying to play their way out from the back. And I thought it was pinched by a Torquay boot, and indeed it's a Wealdstone throw. Now, not much pattern at the moment, Hilsey, to this game.
Sorry, say that again.
Not a lot of pattern so far.
No, it's been a little bit disjointed. Stones haven't really found any kind of stride yet. Torquay had a lot of the ball, not done a great deal with it. They're looking to be quite direct, I think. Put us under pressure. There's a little bit of a press when we have the ball as well.
But foul on David Cisse, the Sierra Leone international. And Aaron Henry now on the ball, who's a noted dead ball player, and he can try and pick out the tall figure of Umera and Jack Cook. Instead, it's play for Cisse. And what's the linesman going to say? He says, assistant referee rather, he says a goal kick. To the disappointment of the Stones.
That's frustrating. You know, having been under pressure for the first 10, 15 minutes, you get an opportunity to get the ball in the box there. We've missed out one there.
Yeah, that was a degree of difficulty to get the ball in from the byline anyway. It would have been a lot simpler to play towards Jack Cook.
Here.
Yeah. Here's Claydon again, being asked to win the ball in the air, and it clears him. And McKenna doing well, and there's Danny Wright playing a good ball up the line, and he's given the throw-in to Torquay United. This Curry Johnson. And he's back with Little. Torquay in possession, trying to make an opening for Tom Lapsley, and he's not going to get a free kick, but Claydon fouls Johnson. He does get a free kick, and Little is going to take it quickly. Instead, they're waiting for the big guns to come up. Ben Winter, he's dangerous in the air. Lemony Evans is in there. Danny Wright, of course. Although he's got the presence of Jack Cook alongside him. Cook's got a couple of inches on Danny Wright. But this is a good situation for Torquay to bang the ball across the Wealdstone box. But that's going to be towards George Wickens, who doesn't collect, but Henry completes the clearance. Left side is Charles Claydon, and he's a really rated prospect at Charlton Athletic, and he's done very well since he's joined the Wealdstone on loan for an initial month, as is Aaron Henry. I know the club are hoping to negotiate for an extension on both players. Reece Brown controlling off his chest, but much too heavy a touch.
But I don't think the throw did him any favours there.
No.
He's kind of thrown it at his neck.
Always hard to control it with the chin, isn't it, really?
Well done, Josh.
Good closing by Josh Umera. Yeah, he had bits and pieces for Torquay last year, as did Matt Boos.
Yeah, I was looking at their playoff final, the infamous playoff final, when their keeper scored in the last minute, and Boos came on in that game, I think.
Coverland scored, didn't he?
Coverland, yeah.
Yeah, Boos came on and was unlucky enough to be the one who missed the penalty that meant they didn't go up to the Football League. So Torquay obviously had a hangover, didn't they, at the start of this season?
I think they lost a fair few players as well from that squad that had served them so well. The likes of Cole Cameron moved on to Notts County and what have you. So, you know, I think it's natural there's going to be a little bit of a hangover there.
They've still got 5 or 6 players though in their squad that had that good run last season. Certainly, I think Wealdstone have only got pretty much the captain, Jerome Akimo, who's actually was playing last season, out of the team that's on the pitch at the moment. Of course, Akimo is not even out there. He's one of those who's been left out. Here's a chance for Claydon again, losing out in the air. McAvoy with the head down. Claydon, another unconvincing header. Claydon's good offensively, but he's not done so well on the defensive side of his game so far. Good ball over the top.
Well, you can see what Torquay are trying to do. They're putting that mismatch and moving Danny Wright over there, who got the double up with Corey Johnson on that right hand side as well.
I'm sure the Wealdstone management team will be aware of that.
Bit of space here. Go on.
There's Nathan Ferguson with a chance to drive towards goal, taking on Lapsley. Good ball wide, and this is Charles Claydon with a chance to go past 2 Torquay defenders. Good little ball towards the near post, but meat and drink to Sean McDonald.
Someone's got to be getting across that front post though. You got 2 strikers up there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a bad ball.
Yeah, it's possibly also that part of the mentality of being part-time, isn't it? Or you don't have the time on the playing field to work on those sort of patterns of play, knowing where Claydon's going to play the ball.
Come on, Tim, we've both played the game. If you're a striker, you always got to be getting across that front post.
Yeah, you've got to gamble, haven't you, really? Hit that area. You got, as you said, Hills, you got 2. One can go back stick and then one across the near. Good football by Wealdstone. Good sharp interpassing there. Reece Brown with a few options. Lapsley trying to close with his usual energy. Good work by Cook. Sashaying past the Torquay midfield, but the ball is loose.
Here we go.
Good ball over the top, looking for Umera, trying to put Johnson under the cosh.
Yeah, well done. Good
and
areas.
well cleared. And I just heard that we won't be treated to action replays in today's game. We had that last season on the commentary. We don't have a monitor up here, so we couldn't have seen what's happening anyway. But if there is a goal, or you come...
That's fine. We're getting the true non-league experience.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, you just take us as you find us this afternoon. Good ball there. And here's Reece Brown with a chance cutting inside into his left foot. He's a tricky customer, but he couldn't quite fiddle the ball through. But Torquay give up possession.
Good Stones there, well done.
Yeah, good. Looking very, very lively, forwards. Very quick on to challenge and to nick possession. And here's Conor McAvoy, the Fulham loanee. Claydon was expecting a quick ball back from Umera. Instead, he recycles it towards Ashley Charles.
Ball,
and that's a lovely ball towards David Cisse, the ex-Barnet player. Coming inside, peeling for a foul, but
if he goes down there, he probably gets it.
Do you think so? It would have been right on the fringe of the box as well?
Yeah, he wouldn't have got it inside the box, but outside he might have.
There's a good ball inside and a chance for Lemonade Evans to run through right on goal.
Well done, George.
He tried to clip the ball over Wickens, but he was big and imposing there. Was the Wealdstone goalkeeper, another Fulham loanee.
I mean, that's a big chance, and that's kind of come out of nothing.
Yeah, a good run through. He
seriously concerned about that. Well, there's a massive gap in the defence. Yeah. It's ended up being a good ball.
And Wickens with a long ball finds Brown, back to Claydon, back to Charles, back to Jack Cook. And there's Tavares playing it wide. Sorry, Henry playing it wide to Nick Tavares. Very tempted to pronounce it Henri.
It's a good ball.
But I don't think he's got any French ancestry, is there? And as far as we know, he's a Henry, isn't he?
I think he's a Henry, yeah.
We enjoy having Henry and Cooper in there, wherever possible.
Around with Jez Albert too long.
Don't say that, please. Actually, Wealdstone got a strong bench today. We've not been through the substitutes bench. The skipper, Jerome Akimo, club captain Jerome Akimo is on the bench. Ira Jackson.
And we're 3-on-3 here.
Here's a break though for Torquay. We'll revisit that in a minute.
Really good from McAvoy, holding him up there.
Good work by Stephen Warne. McAvoy, as you said, held him up. But Torquay is still in possession, looking for the opening. And here's Tom Lapsley. Little plays wide for oceans of space on the left.
Ball here.
A good flick through is Danny Wright with a chance to cross
Well
it.
done, Nick.
And he wins a corner. Tavares stood his ground. Yeah, Wealdstone substitute bench. Ira Jackson, the striker, is there with Jerome Akimo, the defender. Alex Dyer, the midfielder. Jaden Mundlesmith, another defender. And then Charlie Cooper, midfielder. So really there's just one striker on the bench for the Stones. But it's still a strong bench. I mean, there's plenty of options there as well. And at the moment, Torquay corner on the far left. We played 33 minutes. But that's easy for Josh Umera. Gets a good boot on it. Lapsley heads up into the air.
Winners, Brownlee.
Brown couldn't do much with that, I'm afraid. But Wealdstone, good work on the left. Good work by Dean Moxey, and they Torquay have created a position here. Lemony Evans out to the left. Whipped in towards Danny Wright, headed out by McAvoy, but Torquay still in possession through Kiara Johnson. He's flipped the ball into the box, and there's a chance for a control on his chest. A half challenge from Conor McAvoy. Whoa, turned and smacked his shot. Did Armani a little, but wide of George Wickens' post. But certainly I would say Torquay have had the better chances. Not clear chances, Hilsey, but better in possession, I would say.
But yeah, certainly in terms of sort of possession, your heat map, if you will, they've had a far more sort of touches in our box than we've had in theirs.
They look, more considered in possession. Wealdstone having trouble playing out from the back. Wickens are going to play long, I'm sure, which he does. David Cisse making his presence felt. But there's Moxey on the far left, using his experience. Moxey again comes through the challenge. Not a great challenge by Nick Tavares, but the ball comes through to Wickens. He tries to hit the ball upfield to Josh Umera.
Well done. Drive.
Oh, Henry got that pass all wrong, I'm afraid, and suddenly it's given us a chance for Torquay to break on the right. And here's Johnson with the chance to cross towards the near post. In fact, he closed towards the back. Danny Wright with a good header. Across the face of goal and very close to George Wickens' left-hand post. Best chance of the half, would you say, Hilsey?
Yeah, clearly. I don't know whether he was going for goal or looking to head that back across goal to, who's that? Lemonade Evans at the far post there, but it's just coming back too quickly. You know, I know Henry was looking for a bit of a Hollywood pass there, which he's capable of. For Brown
he tried
there,
to bend it, didn't he, off the outside of his foot, but it's very poor execution, and I think Danny Wright would have had to have been heading for goal there. And if had he hit the target, Wickens wouldn't have got it. Tall though he is, he would have got nowhere near that. So, best chance of the game so far, it's still with 35 minutes played, Wealdstone 0, Torquay United 0.
20. It's 5:15, remember, Tim.
5:15. I was very old school, I was thinking. I was kicking off on the hour. I thought it went very quickly, that half, Hilsey. 20 minutes played, as you so rightly say. No goals yet. And only really that two efforts on goal, both from Torquay. The one from Lemony Evans that was blocked by George Wickens. And then that header a few minutes ago from Danny Wright. Wealdstone yet really to fashion a chance worthy of the name. Brown having to come very deep to pick up the ball, you have to say.
I mean, you want him getting on the ball, but...
That's not a great pass out from Cook. Missed Ashley Charles in midfield. And Lemony Evans again trying to find the ball, and in turn he's dispossessed. Now Tavares has lost the ball to Lapsley. And here's Johnson. Johnson to right, and he's dispossessed. Brown can't get on the end of it. Good work by Torquay. Bit of ferreting there, gets the ball back. And out it goes to Duke McKenna. Comes inside. I think he's overhit his cross. Too far for Connor Lemony Evans. And the Wealdstone management team having a bit of a chat down below us. They're looking to combat Torquay's emergence in this game, really. There's the better of the two teams so far.
I'd like to understand the origins of the term ferreting.
Well, normally carried down a trouser leg, as you know, Hilsey. But ferreting, you know, yeah, ratting.
Ratting, yeah.
Ratting's probably
Ratting's
better. I
the
like
one.
ferreting, though. It's got more amusing connotations. And there's Cook playing the ball long, looking for Umera, but he's not going to make that. Well defended. Ferguson tries to head the ball on his side to Reece Brown. And Wealdstone has shown in the last 4 games are very decent coming forward, but not shown any of that really in this game so far.
Struggling to get on the ball, get in the game, and you know, Cook's ball forward to Umera there was a pure percentage ball, but it seems to be causing, you know, more problems and less issue to ourselves trying to sort of play the ball out.
And here's McAvoy in a challenge with
well
Wright.
there.
He did do well there. And Charles Claydon beaten again in the challenge.
Have a look, Cookie.
Cook doesn't want to lose the ball. Good
He's done
turn.
well.
Good work by Jack Cook, using his frame
Don't
really well.
overplay.
But then it's nicked off him by the Duke, who's in possession. And there's Kiori Johnson, an attempted overhead kick there from Lemony Evans.
I mean, Cook's done the hard part there, and then just slightly dwelt on the ball and.
Well,
nicked
Wealdstone
away
do
from
seem
him.
to have the problem of a lack of options. Cook there, he only had the option of playing it long up the line, which maybe he should have taken. But we certainly, Wealdstone were very impressive on Tuesday night and here last weekend to a lesser degree against Wrexham, a very good Wrexham side. But Wealdstone plays so well on the ball on Tuesday.
So what is that? Is that down to, because when you look at our better performances, certainly in terms of passing, possession, expansive football, you will, most of it's happened away from the Vale. So is it this pitch? Is it this ground? Is it the dimensions? Is it the lack of sprinklers, if you will? Go on, Brownie.
And Brown was pushed off the ball right on the edge of the box by Dean Moxey, I think it
that
was.
could be last man.
I don't think the referee's going to take that view. In fact, he's not even going to book him, I don't think. I mean, it was a bit of a tumbling challenge for Reece Brown. He went over very easily, but certainly a free kick. And in a dangerous position now for Torquay. And Wealdstone have got Nathan Ferguson.
I think
more likely Aaron
Aaron
Henry.
Henry.
I think Aaron Henry, who's been excellent. He's come close in his 4 games so far. He's extended the keeper 3 or 4 times from this position.
So this is where, to me, you know, where we're really struggling to impose ourselves on the game in open play, we've got to make the keeper work as a minimum here.
We've had 1 or 2 crosses to deal with as Sean McDonald. That's about all. But Wealdstone, as we cross the 25-minute mark, with a great position, the wall has been moved back. It's Henry and Ferguson over the ball. And I'm sure it's going to be Aaron Henry
Target, come on, son.
to try and whip the ball into the top corner with his right foot. Decent effort, but didn't have the height to clear the wall. And cleared upfield by Torquay. So a missed opportunity
Go
for
on, let's
Wealdstone
play.
there.
Let's play.
Yes, going back to your question about the pitch, I mean, the surface is good here, but it's probably more the way that teams set up against us to stop us playing through them, whereas we've got more opportunity away from home probably to surprise teams
I don't disagree with that.
pace and athleticism on the break.
I know the management team, you know, are exploring and are interested in trying to make the pitch bigger, which is difficult given the location, the proximity of the famous perimeter fence here.
Yeah. Well, there's a bit of space on this side, isn't there? You've certainly got 5 yards to play with.
Turn on that, turn on that.
And Umera's lost the ball to Lapsley, and Lapsley plays the ball wide to Lemony Evans, and he's got a couple of runners. And Armani Little plays towards the edge of the box, but Tavares gets his toe on it, and then Charles, and then this will be Reece Brown controlling the ball. David Cisse beaten in the challenge, but he wins the ball back again, thanks to Tavares. And here's Duke McKenna again on the outside. Different angle on the cross. Lapsley tries to take advantage.
Well done. Well
Good
recovered,
covering
McAvoy.
though by Conor McAvoy, the lone player from Fulham. McAvoy and George Wickens are both on the season-long loan from the Championship club. A Fulham team hoping to get back up in the Premier League. And they're two of the starlets in that club's academy. They have been through the years. But here's the ball played back to Johnson with loads of space here for number 10 Armani Little. Whips the ball in. This is a dangerous position, but headed out from the back. Henry wondering whether to challenge, headed back in. Cook gets his head.
He's got no outlet there. Yeah, good areas, well done.
Well, a good ball up the line there from Claydon, relieving the pressure. And certainly Torquay turning the screw a little bit in the last 5 minutes. Looking for the diagonal. Instead it's hung up, and there's going to be a challenge.
It's done well, Tavares.
Yeah, Tavares challenging.
Find the blue.
Challenging well,
See,
and Danny Wright.
You know, Henry's looking up there, and it's still 5-on-2.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, midweek we sometimes had a man advantage even as we played two up front. But yeah, Solihull were committing more players forward. Torquay sitting back, but still looking dangerous as they come forward. Is Lemony Evans using his trickery on the left. And then Moxie playing it wide. And we wait for the ball to come in the box. There it is from McKenna, cleared by Charles.
Uses his body really well there, Lemony Evans.
Yeah, they're good, strong, experienced players, aren't they? Really keeping possession in the face of some tackling. There's a good position open up on the left here.
Stay on your feet.
McKenna playing the ball inside. Charles read that well and smuggled it away from Lemony Evans. Now David Cisse has played the ball straight out of defence to a Torquay shirt.
Good win that.
Good. Well, that looked like
Oh,
Nathan Ferguson won the ball quite comfortably there. The referee took a different view, and he's even going to book him here.
I can only assume he's
not going to book him, no.
I can only assume he's gone through the man first to get the ball, because the ball clearly went a different direction.
Yeah, he seemed to play the ball rather than the man. Yeah, must have thought maybe he came through on the side of his boot,
Possibly,
perhaps.
yeah.
But a good position for Torquay on the left of the box, and now it's their chance for their dead ball specialist to work George Wickens in the Wealdstone goal. We're just on the half-hour mark. And I think that's Moxie on the far side. And that's not Moxie. Moxie's in the box. He's going to be whipped in towards the penalty spot. Wright makes the run towards the back. He's taken off his head. In fact, there were two Torquay players there with a clear jump at the ball.
They look dangerous from set pieces and wide plays.
Yeah, well, Joe Lewis, I've forgotten about him. He's the one who scored a cracking goal at Playmore in the defeat of Wealdstone October. They've got two men on the back, and they've certainly got a height advantage. And now Lewis is travelling towards the penalty spot. And there's a chance for Duke McKenna to run at Claydon. And he goes around the outside. Claydon's got to be careful.
Stay on your feet.
But his cross is undercooked. And again, Wealdstone just throwing up a percentage ball. And it comes back to Lapsley. Torquay looking pretty comfortable, you have to say, at the moment. But yet to make a breakthrough. But a little ball over the top. Not a bad idea there from Armani Little, but Lemony Evans wasn't quite alert to it. Wealdstone in possession. Long ball from Wickens, looking towards Cisse, but comfortably taken down by Moxie. And he plays a decent ball across the top of Conor McAvoy, but he's going to shepherd that off. Torquay have made yards so far.
It's not a bad tactic, to be honest. They, you know, just putting it in behind us and sort of playing possession football.
Yeah. Very rugby union.
Unfortunately, that kind of tactic is quite effective against us.
Good work by Lewis, winning the ball from Reece Brown as he tried to make some sort of inroad, but it's McKenna again. And they're getting an extra player, getting an overload on the right here with Lemony Evans and Duke McKenna. A little ball into the box. Right swings and misses. Good challenge. And Lapsley really again. And Little again towards the back stick. Cisse did well, gives the corner away, but a good challenge by the Wealdstone right wing back.
Yeah, we are getting very exploited down this down our left-hand side.
Well, Umera's come back to try and challenge this, and he
win,
did
Josh.
well, actually, Umera, against his old club.
Took it off the head of Winter there.
Yeah, an important challenge. Well, the way this game is panning out is very similar to some of the horrific experiences we had last season on the live stream with no crowds and an away team in the ascendancy. The ball's thrown up there towards George Wickens.
Good win.
And he collects it. And probably
Right,
not
George,
a good time,
calm it down.
Hillsey, to remind you, last time you were up here with me was Wealdstone 0, Maidenhead 6. Against a team that we expected to get something from, but that was in the
and-
depths of Wealdstone's trough, wasn't it,
And
last
that was
season?
the Tuesday night after we'd been hit for 7 by Hartlepool here.
Oh, gosh.
So yeah, that
8-2,
was as-
8-2 was Hartlepool.
7-2, I think. Wasn't it?
7-2, maybe.
That was
Seemed like more.
that was as low as it got, I think, last year. We actually didn't do bad after that. You know, we got a point up at Chesterfield and
Yeah,
beat Woking.
Yeah, that's
beat
true.
Boreham Wood.
That was the low point of the season. I think
Yeah,
it was just
yeah,
a
massively.
just several games too far for everybody.
Back to this game, we are more than second best at the moment. This has a bit of a feel to the Woking game back in January, where
At Woking.
yeah, where it was kind of the men against boys. We really struggled to impose ourselves on the game. You know, I don't know whether there's any similarities between Torquay and Woking and the way they've set up, or
Well, I don't think so, really. They were a beast of a side, they Woking. They're very tall. I don't think Torquay are in quite the same mould, and they don't play quite so obviously for free kicks and throw-ins. But I think they just
that's a foul, referee.
they've just got a very good shape defensively, and they spring forward, and they're using this right flank, as you were saying earlier,
Yeah.
very intelligently.
What feels strange is when we are attacking, it feels like we're outnumbered, but when we're defending, it feels like it's not outnumbered, but you know they've got 5 or 6
It
forward.
does make you want to count
5
up,
or 6
count
back.
up the yellow shirts there. Wealdstone, of course, stumbled to defeat on Tuesday, despite having a man advantage, and that was one of the best examples I've ever seen of a 10-man team sticking to their guns and bravely playing out from the back, rather than ceding possession.
Yeah, and I think we've seen time and time again this year that we're much better when teams sort of come at us and we hit them on the break a bit. We're able to expose them.
Yeah.
And I think, as you said, they're keeping them back, they're holding their shape, and we're really struggling to impose ourselves.
But a chance for Henry as Wealdstone go on the attack. A good delivery
ball.
across the box, and
Go
it's saved by McDonald with his right hand.
Screaming for handball there.
Wealdstone are repeating of handball. Unfortunately, we've got no action replays, as we mentioned earlier. But a lot of scratching of heads there amongst the Wealdstone frontmen. Jack Cook certainly was appealing as the ball was whipped across the box. I think it was a Torquay body that projected the ball towards the post, and a good save by McDonald. He clawed the ball out. But that's the first moment of danger for the goals this afternoon, as the Stones are denied by a save by their keeper, McDonald. Henry plays the ball across the box. Little header down by Ferguson.
Come on, ref.
And he's given a foul against Wealdstone. Not sure what that was for. Thought maybe offside, but the flag didn't seem to go up. So a little bit of Wealdstone possession, Hillsey.
Well, possession or set pieces, one of the two.
Yeah. No, we've certainly not played our way through, have we?
Territory, yeah. Bit of territory.
Well, that was sort of the most dangerous moment for Torquay United this afternoon so far. Here's Ashley Charles in possession, heading the ball rather
Talk
badly,
there.
and Claydon also only heads against a yellow shirt. I think Duke McKenna's been very good today for Torquay. He's been very buzzy down the right. None of his crosses have quite come off, but he must have had half a dozen already.
Yeah, he's very direct. You see him put him right out here.
I thought he got three. We had 3 against 1 at the moment there, Torquay, against Charles Claydon. Claydon's a youngster. Oh, he's given the ball away there. McKenna wins the ball back, plays it across the box.
Stay on your
This is
feet.
dangerous.
Done
Cisse,
well
he
there,
did
Cisse,
well.
well done.
He's good actually in the air, Cisse. He's got a better jump than you'd imagine. And there's good work by Reece Brown.
Keep the ball.
Gary Johnson saying, how is that not a foul, with a couple of expletives thrown in. But Torquay keep possession through Lapsley. Henry giving the ball away. And there's a ball up the line from Moxie, trying to pick out the run of Danny Wright. Tavares is in control.
That's where Tavares is so good. That athleticism to get away from his man.
He does. He brings the ball
Well
out
done,
really
Josh.
well.
Well
Now
done. Now
Umera,
offload it. Now keep the
it's a
ball.
rare opportunity for him to switch it, but that is really poorly played. Attempted pass towards Claydon, gave the ball away. Hilsey tearing his hair out up here.
Yeah, sorry, I forget. I need to be a little bit diplomatic on here.
Oh, Johnson trying to buy the foul, but the referee letting play go on. Ball out from Winter, then right. Good work by Torquay, moving the ball around sweetly. Good ball from Moxley. Lapsley is always the extra man, is Tom Lapsley. Good work from Armani Little as well, and it's still out on the left through Moxley. Stephen Warren getting involved. And they're linking well, Torquay United on the edge of the box. What can the goals create here? For once, they've got nobody in this right-hand channel, but they're concentrating on the ball over the top. Right to left this time, it goes out harmlessly for a free kick, for a goal kick rather.
That's where we need to better. Josh did the hard part in terms of the initial.
Yeah, one possession well, didn't he?
One possession, got it down well, and then it's the pass, it's the transition of play that's let him down.
You've got to really spank the ball across in that position to get the ball hard enough to get the ball to Claydon, and he really there's no hope really of getting the ball across that sort of distance.
But I'd argue as well there needs to be the ball to Claydon wasn't the right ball. You want to be looking to offload to
somebody nearer at hand,
a Ferguson or someone who's making ground up into that middle third.
Yeah. Yeah, not a great showing so far by the Wealdstone forwards. Reece Brown has flitted in and out. Umera, as we say, has really failed to link up and bring other players into the game. But all across the pitch, it's been Torquay. It'd be interesting to know what possession stats are. But they're something like 60% possession so far, Torquay United.
Yeah, Brown's been an absolute passenger in this game. I don't think that's necessarily any fault of his own. But he's really struggling to impose himself, and he's starting to sort of come deeper to get the ball. Yeah,
it wouldn't surprise me if Stuart Maynard and Matty Saunders made a change, maybe a back four, and an extra body in midfield, in the central midfield perhaps, to try and outnumber them in there, because it certainly moves. But then again, it could just be the mobility of Torquay.
It's disjointed at the moment. I feel like we're waiting to go behind here. It's been on the cards for a while. If we can get to half time goalless, I think that'll be a real good boost. Regroup.
Well, Wealdstone certainly be attacking their favourite end, where the crowds normally are. Of course, we
don't score at that end, do we?
Not often.
Oh, actually, Brown got his penalty.
Yeah, Reece Brown's opened the scoring against Wrexham last week, but certainly we scored more goals towards the Tec Nuovo stand on our left, the seated stand. But that's all academic today. There's no fans in the ground anyway. It's a chance for Winter to play along diagonal, but it's going to be Cisse cutting out. And Reece Brown got onto the loose ball, taking on Moxie, and he's got the pace to get away here, but Moxie did well to stick out a long leg. And Brown,
again, though, percentages. Brown's got nowhere near him. He's running into the corner. It's difficult for us to really cause them problems.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how Wealdstone combat this in the second half. As we're clicking down towards half-time, 4 or 5 minutes. Maybe a little bit of injury time. 5 minutes tops, including injury time. And Torquay again playing out from the back. Ashley Charles is doing the ratting job. But Torquay comfortably in possession. And there's Lewis. And he's looking for runners. He's getting a bit frustrated, Joe Lewis.
See, they're leaving that 3 over this diagonal on the right-hand side again.
Yeah, they're cleverly working it there, Torquay. And Wealdstone giving away a corner. Tavares and Cook getting each other's way to a degree there. And it's another chance for Torquay to throw the ball in the box. And the big guns, Joe Lewis, Ben Winter, both coming up. Probably got a slight height advantage in there, but Jack Cook's very good in the air, so's McAvoy, so's Tavares. And from Dead Fox corner, the ball is about to be floated across. Good position, not a bad ball. Wickham stayed on his line. Brown has lost the ball to Duke McKenna. Kenner's very clever on the ball, very strong, and he's held off Brown's
Put that one
challenge.
in. Better. Well
Good
done.
work by Charles Claydon,
He needs
the
options.
Charlton loanee, and he's another ex-Charlton player, Josh Umera.
He's done well, Josh.
He did well there, but also, again, being driven backwards.
Oh, Aaron.
Not a great ball from Aaron Henry when he tried to stretch the play. It was comfortably picked up. There's a lot of space on the left. Ball is nicked across to nobody in the end. Probably very disappointing for Torquay there. Danny Wright made the wrong run. Lemony Evans made the wrong run. Or maybe the right run if the delivery had been better.
It's interesting because the management team have come in for some criticism about overplaying, but you know that's got nothing to do. Aaron Henry's blind pass into the middle of the pitch here. That's
Yeah.
unlike him.
Very unlike him. Normally he's much more composed than that. Pick the ball up, pick a pass. He was drilling 30-yard passes out to the flanks and picking up spare players on Tuesday. I was hugely impressed. I was standing watching the game on Tuesday night and thinking, is this the Wealdstone I've watched for sort of 50-odd years? They're playing better football at a National League level than I've probably ever seen before.
Here we go.
And yet we got nothing out of it in the end. And here's Reece Brown playing the ball across to David Cisse. And Umero criminally short there really to Tavares, but he
Well
picks the
done,
ball
Tavares.
up and finds
Quality
Cisse.
again.
And Wealdstone got a position now on the right.
That's better.
Charge down, but Wealdstone at least are in the Torquay last third. As we move towards half-time.
I've run out of superlatives for Tavares. He just does not lose personal battles.
No, he's very impressive
Outstanding
in many
player.
ways. We're very lucky to have him at Wealdstone. I mean, he's been dogged by injury. That's probably what's hampered his progress. Cook playing the ball wide to Henry.
Be brave. Play forwards.
There's a
It's a
good
good
ball.
ball.
And Wealdstone have got two. Oh,
No.
Umera was offside. Waiting for the flag to go up.
It's
Umera
better. That's good.
was clattered to the
Much
ground by Lewis, I think it was. But Wealdstone actually suddenly had two men spare, it seemed, at the back. But I think Torquay knew full well that the flag would go up. First chance that Henry's really played a probing pass, though.
Again, it's being brave on the ball. You know, Ashley Charles, I was guilty of it earlier in the first half. You know, be brave, play forwards. It's very easy all the time to just play backwards, but there's half time.
Yeah, half-time at the Vale. Well, I've not really missed the action replay machine, have we, Hilsey, so far? It's been precious little thrills at either end. Two chances for Torquay United, two notable chances for Danny Wright and Connor Lemony Evans. Lemony Evans particularly was trying to dink the ball over George Wicken, so he brought off a good save there. And Wealdstone have had that late free kick in the first half, whipped across the box. Couldn't see
Shout
from
for
here.
handball maybe, but
Yeah, there was a shout of a handball, but if it was a handball, it was a hand that propelled it towards the Torquay goal, and Sean McDonald brought off a good save. So thanks for joining us for the first half. Come back here, please. Watch the whole of what we hope will be a more exciting second half. Half-time at the Vale. Hilsey, what's your overall summation of that first half? In a positive vein.
the positive vein is we're not losing. It's 0-0. I think Stu will be delighted to have got in unscathed because we've been second best for a lot of that half. Going down the hill, I imagine he'd make a change. I wouldn't be surprised to see Mundell Smith come on. I'm not sure the Claydon. Again, not particularly.
Mundell Smith would be a good shout because he's strong and muscular,
Yeah.
and he'll dampen down a lot of the attacking that Torquay have got on the right flank.
But again, maybe with the change of ends here, I mean, I know it's perhaps not completely obvious unless you've been to the ground. There is a slope here, so maybe with us going down the slope, we may not be so exposed on that left-hand side. But I mean, Claydon has been. It's not to say he's played poorly, but he's been put under pressure. And we said he's in the team for his attacking exploits, and that's not what he's had.
We've not played to his strengths, have we, in any way in that first half?
No.
He spent most of the game defending, to be fair.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is not his forte, is it?
I wouldn't mind seeing Mundell Smith on. I wouldn't mind seeing someone like Alex Dyer in there for a bit of composure, try and get us on the ball. But who'd be a manager, eh?
Yeah, he'll be a manager. There was many changes that could be made, and historically Stuart Maynard's not made changes until around the hour mark, so I think that's probably going to be the case today.
I'd be making a change personally. I'd be making a change to the system. Because it's not
if we
working.
were behind at half time, I think he might well be making one or two changes to charge up the team. But he's going to be looking at Wealdstone and saying, Where's the spark gone that we had on Tuesday night when we were so impressive?
The good thing is plenty of options on the bench. Charlie Cooper as well, we've not spoken about. Ira Jackson, who's been very in and out of the side for the last...
He can make
since
things happen in a twinkling though, can't he, Ira Jackson?
He could do, but he needs the ball. And certainly had he been on the pitch in the first half, I think he'd have been a passenger a bit like Brown has been. So I think Stu's got to make these changes wisely and at the right times.
Yeah, I think Gary Johnson, Torquay manager, is going to be happy with their performance. Probably not happy with the fact they haven't scored.
Yeah,
but they've kept a very good shape. They stopped Wealdstone playing through them. Yeah,
there's that wonderful phrase in football that you got to score when you're on top, and they haven't. And I say that's the positive for us. We need a spark from somewhere, and I think if we get that, the game's still there for the taking.
Yeah. Well, I was projecting beforehand there may be some goals in this game, been none so far, but hopefully that will all change in the second half. Come back and join us in about 10-15 minutes time for the whole of the second half with WFC TV. Thank you. So we're back live at Grosvenor Vale for the second half of Wealdstone against Torquay United. Stones against the goals, 0-0 at half-time. Not a lot to write home about, to be brutally honest, in that first half. Hilsey, what's your projection? I think before the game you were saying maybe 1-0 either way, weren't you?
I said we'd have a single goal win, and I'm sticking by that.
Ah.
I'm being brave. I wouldn't necessarily say that on the reflection of the game so far, but I'll back the management team to turn this around.
Well, that flies in the face of recent form, really, because I hadn't realised this, but Torquay United have won their last 3 away games. They won 3-0 at Yeovil. Tremendous result, that one. They won 2-1 at Altrincham, and then they won 3-1 at Dover. I mean, the last 2 results against teams down at the bottom of the table, but it's not a bad away record, is it, so far?
I mean, they're clearly a capable team. I'd argue they're perhaps a little one-dimensional, but you probably say the same about us.
We've been none-dimensional in the first half. A very disappointing first half. Let's see if the management team managed to stir the embers for Wealdstone for the second half. Jack Cook, Wealdstone playing the ball out from the back, and George Wickens plays long towards Umera, and he's completely misjudged the flight of that.
It's a good header from Tavares.
But now Josh with a chance to bring the ball down. Again, he loses possession. Good work by Torquay, very slick football, but Jack Cook comes to the rescue. Plays a good ball up the line now. Can Umera do better this time?
Canal.
Well, he's fouled by Joe Lewis. Or Dean Moxie, in fact, he was. He went all the way with Josh Umera then, caught him nastily on the ankle, but it's a Wealdstone free kick. Halfway. And Jack Cook again over to Conor McAvoy. And he's looking for Charles Claydon, who didn't really have a chance to come forward in the first half, but now he's cutting the ball inside. He's gone through 2 challenges, and he's taken out by Lapsley, who looks perplexed.
He thought about it there, the ref, didn't he?
I think that was a clear foul, wasn't it? Really impeded him, didn't he, Tom Lapsley? 2 little fellas there.
I guess you could argue, did he have the ball under control? But I mean, I actually thought the first one was a foul.
Yeah, well, he certainly smuggled the ball past Tom Lapsley, and then Lapsley stood in his way. So Charles Claydon making a bit of an impact at the start of this second half.
It's a very distinctive character, Lapsley, isn't he? With his
he is, yeah.
Shorts rolled up very high and
socks down.
Yeah,
he looks like a schoolboy player almost, doesn't he? A sort of a 35-year-old schoolboy. He should have a catapult hanging out of his back pocket, shouldn't he? Really.
Right, let's see if we can make this count.
And here's Aaron Henry, the dead ball specialist, on loan from Charlton. Jack Cook trying to find a bit of space at the back stick. I think it's going to be aimed towards him, and it is. There's Cook nodding the ball down, but cleared by the towering figure of Joe Lewis. And we also have a throw. Certainly Wealdstone more on the attack in this half as it kicks off. Henry back
Well done, Cisse.
to David Cisse, who's done well. His chance to Nathan Ferguson. Is he going to have a go on his left foot? He can work onto his right foot, and it's blocked. Henry caught on his heels a little bit as Torquay with a chance to play it out, but that's underplayed. I nearly said undercooked. Jack Cook playing the ball up. And Ashley Charles going a bit longer, and that's a good ball to Tavares, and there's a bit of space inside for Reece Brown, who's nicked the ball off Lewis. There's a chance to run at Lewis. He plays the ball across towards Umera, but Lewis gets a good block on it. And it's a Wealdstone throw down by Collins corner.
Josh.
Good work by Umera. Wealdstone certainly on the offensive. Much better start, yeah.
Yeah, much better start. A bit more intent, a bit more urgency about the passing.
You really want the crowd in the Holywell stand, don't you, sucking the ball towards the goal at this point. They've been fine voice at this moment with that early corner. That's where you miss out. I know Matty Saunders was saying that really it doesn't make an awful lot of difference. The players in their own heads have got to play without a crowd. But here's a chance for Henry to play the ball in. And here's Claydon with a slight miscontrol on the edge of the box.
He can use his body well to keep that, though.
Yeah, he's done well. He's stocky and powerful. He's only 17 or 18. He's done well here.
Deliver.
He tried to find Jack Cook in the box. And Tavares and Cisse.
Well there.
And Tavares jumping again. He's lost out in the battle there. And the foul.
He's given it.
Yeah, he's
Is
given
it the
the
foul or the handball?
Well, I think it must have been handball because he didn't appear to foul Jack Cook. If anything, it's the other way around. So Wealdstone got the benefit of the doubt there.
Yeah, I don't think the Torquay bench particularly agree.
What? Gary Johnson disagreeing with the referee's decision? Surely
I
not.
think it's his assistant who's...
The grey-haired fella. Fashionably grey. And it's Wealdstone with a free kick. Midway in the Torquay half.
It's quite central here.
It is, but he's going to play the ball over the top towards Cook again, I'm sure.
I'd rather he spun that wide to Claydon.
He does play it towards Cook. Cook's found a better
done
room,
well.
he's headed it down. Here's Nathan Ferguson, the recent signing from
3 points.
Southend. David Cisse, the Sierra Leone international. Recently returned from the African Nations Cup, although I think he had COVID when he was out there. Didn't actually play a game. But his shot was way over the top.
Well, I've just seen that float into someone's garden and a light went on in the house it landed in, so I think a greenhouse has gone or something.
I mean, when we used to play at Edgware, there was a wonderful moment where the ball actually went into the bathroom window of a house behind the town end goal, the hotel end goal. No, the other end rather. The houses backing onto the ground there. Straight through them. We had a very small target to aim at, but we of course wondering if anyone was actually in position in the bathroom at that time.
Doesn't that seem like a lifetime ago, Edgware?
It does. That was Wealdstone. Well, 5 levels lower than this, so that's the sort of journey that Wealdstone have been on. Whereas Torquay have been in the Football League in that time. Well, I think they fell out in about 2012 or 13, so they've been out of the league for a while.
But of course, we played each other in a league below, what, 3 years ago now?
Yeah, in the National League South. That's right. Torquay were 3-0 winners here, impressive 3-0 winners here, soon after Gary Johnson taking over, I think.
Yeah.
And of course, they won the league from Woking.
If I recall, they had quite a slow start and then came down here in what must have been October, November time.
It was, yeah.
Gave us a footballing lesson, and I think a fair few Stones fan had a good old bet on them at 9-1 to win the league that season.
And indeed they did. Yeah, the excellent side. Gary Johnson came back and kick-started their season. I just looking there, Joe Lewis had a very similar run to the one he had at Plainmoor when he scored against Wealdstone with a 25-yarder, but he was choked there.
Oh.
As indeed is this Torquay attack. Cisse trying to pick out a run from Umera, but it's a good throw in, the best that Wealdstone could have expected there, really.
If I recall, they had a very good striker that season. Is it Jonah Ayuga? Who I think is now playing somewhere in the Football League.
Yeah.
He was very good for
Yeah, they were very good all over the pitch, to be honest.
I don't know if I'm confusing him with somebody who played for Havant, but...
Yeah, similar sort of name, similar style of footballer. Big, powerful striker. But very good sign. Here's a throw. Picking out Reece Brown, who's fiddled the ball past. And then he slapped it wide of the near post. It's very poor connection for Reece Brown. No corner there. Good work by Cisse. Although Brown is aghast at that decision by the referee. I mean, we're way away from the pitch up here, but I have to say I thought that was a goal kick. But I think Reece Brown is more upset with himself for not finding the far corner there.
Again, he just dwelt a second too long before getting that shot off.
Cook winning a game of head tennis with himself. And there's McAvoy. Cook again challenging Danny Wright, but the ball was broken loose, and Wealdstone certainly much more in the ascendancy.
It's a good ball from Henry.
Henry picking out Umera on the left. He's going to come inside, I think, onto his right foot. He loves to have a crack from here, and he's taken out. And the referee has amazingly ignored that. Seemed far more nailed on than the 2 free kicks he'd previously given. The Cisse getting the ball into Henry. And it's charged down. And Torquay got a bit of defending to do. Lewis playing the ball up the line, but now it's Ashley Charles. Good ball to Henry. And Stone's building until Cisse has had his pocket picked by Stephen Warren. Lemonade Evans. And Torquay are now counter-attacking. We didn't see much counter-attack from Torquay as they had most of the possession in the first half, but now they're in a good position. There's Little playing a good ball through, but well cut out by Ferguson. And Umera has wastefully headed that down. And Lapsley plays the ball to Winter. Torquay settling it down again in possession.
It's good pressure from McAvoy.
Yeah, good work by Conor McAvoy. Nicking the ball from Lemony Evans. Jack Cook carrying it.
As Beckenbauer forward.
He does. He carries the ball very well out from the back. Numera, what's he going to do here? Well, he's good.
Better, Josh.
Good position. Clayton hits it first time across the box. Cook trying to get on the end, but just drifted beyond him.
That's better from Umera. I think sometimes when he gets that ball, we're sort of in the channel, he can be a bit head down.
Yeah, he looked up there and picked out Clayton.
Yeah.
Good cross.
Yeah, it was a good cross first time. Tiny bit too much on it because Cook was arriving like a train there.
Cisse is still struggling with the earlier knock. He's gone down for a bit of attention. And Tom Lapsley down below, he's coming across for a word with his manager. He's come to get some waters for his teammates.
It's interesting listening to the benches in this break and play. I don't know whether they are. Mics are picking stuff up, but interesting exchanges.
Well, normally the benches are in the ear of their players. A wonderful moment on Tuesday night at Solihull when Solihull went down to 10 men. And Neil Ardley, the Solihull manager, he came across. In fact, the goalkeeper went down feigning an injury. It was barely a collision. Goalkeeper was down for a good 2 minutes, feigning injury. And in that time, all the players trooped over to the touchline and they got instructions from Neil Ardley to carry on playing the way they were with 10 men, play out from the back bravely. And of course, they got a winning goal in the last few minutes. So that was great management by Neil Ardley. Very, very cute by him and his players.
It's him showing his sort of crazy gang days, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, that's.
Was he part of that area, or is he?
I think
was he a little bit later?
slightly afterwards. To be fair, it wasn't the Vinnie Jones era of Neil Ardley, but he was a big player for Wimbledon in their day. And as we expected, Jaden Mundle-Smith, the ex-Fulham player, is coming on for David Cisse. So it'll be interesting to see.
Assuming that's Clayton coming across to the right.
You'd think so. Yeah, Mundle-Smith is very left-sided, so is Clayton, of course, but Clayton quite happy to play down the right. So that looks like the swap. Wealdstone keeping with the three at the back. Mundle-Smith now left wing back. He's got Charles Clayton right wing back. So Torquay substituting as well. Danny Wright, bit of a surprise coming off for Clyde Lolos, or Lolos. Should have worked on that pronunciation beforehand. I think we'll call him Lolos. It's like a straight swap up front. Lolos playing in that centre forward role.
Well done.
And Wealdstone win a corner on the far side. Can't say I know anything about Clyde Lolos. And the pen pictures in the programme today were very underwhelming. Not a lot of detail there, so I'm not sure where he's come from.
I think he's been on loan from...
There's a corner towards Jack Cook.
It's going to go all the way
and
out.
the ball's going to run, right the way through for Torquay goal kick. So Wealdstone certainly stepped up a gear this half, much more on the front foot, causing far more problems for the Torquay rearguard. But as yet, with 14 minutes played, it's still Wealdstone 0, Torquay United 0. Substitution apiece for each team.
So by the wonders of Google, I can tell you that Clyde Lolos came through the youth system at Olympiakos.
Ah, Greek.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mention how you pronounce his name though.
We'll go with Lolos.
Lolos.
Imagine there's some Lolosh or something.
Lolosh, yeah, who knows? It could be Lolosh. Certainly not a well-known Greek name. But a bit of international flair then from their new centre-forward. Armani Little playing the ball happily across to Joe Lewis. There's Ben Winter trying to ball a good ball in down the line, but Lapsley, for once his control let him down. Here's Mundell-Smith playing the ball up the line nicely for Reece Brown. Backs in, holds.
Well.
Yeah, held off 2 players there.
Oh.
Very late challenge there on Mundell-Smith, but the referee happy to let it go. Surprising. Mundell-Smith, to his credit, didn't roll around there, as he might well have done. And here's Torquay with the 2 against 1 on the right. There's McKenna inside. Little flick into the box. Lemony Evans and the ball played across at the back of the stick, but there's Nathan Ferguson clearing the ball up.
Here we
And
go.
Wealdstone got a break on here. It's a chance for Claydon to stretch his legs. Nathan Ferguson, who's always comfortable in possession. Ashley Charles and now Tavares. You're not on the same wavelength as Claydon there, as Wealdstone raided up the right flank. And it's a Torquay throw, but much more energetic, Hillsey, this half, would you say? Both teams, really.
Yeah, definitely. It's a much better spectacle than it was in the first half. Again, I just wish we'd be a little bit braver there with the ball. And that doesn't just mean going forwards, but you know, Ferguson taking the ball in the half turn there or something like that.
Yeah, that's the key in midfield, isn't it, on the half turn? Trying to face the opposition goal rather than playing it slowly sideways or backwards.
Charles has been done there.
A good break by Stephen Warren.
It's good foot.
Henry nearly get possession, but a good ball towards the back stick by Armani Little, and it's picked up by McKenna. Good ball across the box. Wealdstone managed to defend it, and it's going to run out for... It didn't. Good work by Charles Claydon. The Charlton Loney. Very dangerous cross, the best thing that Torquay have done this half so far. But still no goals at Grosvenor Vale. Grosvenor Vale due to have a new fence all the way around the outside. I'm sure it's going to be very impressive, and it's going to cost tens of thousands really, which is the reason why the ground is shut today, for safety issues. Good work by Joe Lewis. And he thought there was a foul by O'Meara, and the referee
He's given the head injury there.
He's given, yeah.
Moxie's down.
Oh, that's an earlier incident, wasn't it, really? And the Torquay management team are in the ear of referee David Richardson, saying that it was a foul on Joe Lewis by Josh O'Meara. Referee looks generally nonplussed, doesn't he, at the moment?
I'm amazed by he's being referred to by first name.
By me?
No, by everyone on the pitch.
He's the referee?
Yeah, I thought at non-league level the referee was just called ref.
If in doubt, give us a clue, says the Torquay management team. I think they're a bit mystified by that passage of play. But Wealdstone play the ball back. Tavares up to Wickens, and there's Lewis winning the ball confidently, but picked up by Henry. And there's a good run by Josh O'Meara, who's got a chance to keep possession on the edge of the box.
Now offload it, Josh.
And again, slightly undercooked, couldn't pick out Reece Brown.
Again, he's done the hard bit well. That's where he's got to improve his game.
Head back from Jack Cook. Nathan Ferguson miscontrolling.
Good ball.
And Lolos playing the ball through. And they've got a chance here.
Done,
Good work by
Claydon.
Charles Claydon using his pace there. He's very quick across 5 yards. Not a great ball, but chance for Reece Brown to hunt it down. Nicely played out by Sean McDonald. And the Torquay goal, Tom Lapsley gets Ben Winter underway. Carrying the ball through strongly. Not a bad ball towards Lolos. Cook has given it away to Lolos in the edge of the box. And then wins it back. He did very well there. His long legs getting possession to Henry.
Well done, Aaron Henry. Superb.
And he did very well there to buy the foul. And a good ball towards Reece Brown. Brown's the sort of player to profit in these situations. Turns inside and out. And then releases it behind Mundell-Smith. That's typical of Reece Brown's games today, I would say, Adam.
It's not quite happened for him.
Not
really,
quite happened, not quite on the wavelength of the players. I mean, he's been a real spark in these last 4 games for Wealdstone since he returned from injury. Winning and scoring a penalty against Wrexham. Playing well against Yeovil in the win here, and of course doing really well in the win at Barnet 2 weeks ago. But the game's 0-0. It's on a knife edge, to use the cliche.
It's there for whoever wants really to take it and be a little bit brave. Bit of quality is what's going to...
Claydon attempting to travel up the flank there, just put the ball out of play though, and it's a Torquay throw. This game really could go either way. Lolos doing well, using his strength, but again, losing the ball. And Henry with the ball over the top towards Reece Brown. He's got the pace to get there before Winter, which he does. Has he got the trickery? Well, that's easy for Joe Lewis. As Brown tried to find Umera. Jaden Mundle-Smith.
We've definitely got a lot more balance and stability with Mundle-Smith at the left-hand side.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. Wealdstone look far more secure, don't they? Although not a great ball there by Henry, I think it was. And we played 20 minutes of the second half, getting up towards halfway. Still Wealdstone 0, Torquay United 0.
Looks like we might have Keelan O'Connell coming on for Torquay down there.
I think you're right, the number 16. He's getting his instructions from the management team for Torquay, so it'll be interesting to see who comes off. With that leads to a reshape.
That's a good ball.
Wealdstone industrious through Nathan Ferguson. Here's a chance for Charles Claydon on his left foot. Hits the ball towards the back stick. And Umera's in space.
Oh.
Couldn't quite deal with it with his right foot. Instead of using his left foot there, he tried to flick it with his right, but it's always a bit of a tall order.
That's your boy the Duke going off, isn't it?
I think it is. Which is surprising as he's been...
He's not really had a kick this second half.
No, he was
very good first half.
Very good in the first half. He pulled the defenders all over the place. Torquay used the ball intelligently, but Gary Johnson croaking out from the touchline. It always sounds like he's got a bit of a cold.
Actually, I'm not sure that is him.
It's Lolos coming straight off. So Keelan O'Connell coming on up front, and Lolos didn't last very long. I don't think he got an injury. Maybe they weren't very happy with the way he was leading the line.
It's the non-league Ali Dair. Good foot that.
Henry trying to get Umera free on the right. Good work by Winter and Lapsley. Good work by Stephen Warren again in there. And closed down by Nathan Ferguson. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if one of these, or both of these teams, go for it in the last 15, 20 minutes. I can't see either settling for a point.
I wouldn't be surprised if, as this game goes on, Maynard sees this is a good point.
Well, I suppose in Wealdstone's position, any point is a good one, isn't it, really, to crank the total up towards the end of the season. But you've got to be wary. We've conceded a lot of late goals, Wealdstone, in recent games. The winner at Solihull, and of course 2 goals in the last few minutes against Wrexham.
As I notice Lolos disappear straight down the tunnel.
He's not a happy bunny. Makes you wonder why he was brought on, really, especially for... Well, I suppose he got an injury, didn't he? Did Wright. That's why Danny Wright had to come off, but Lolos obviously didn't fulfil the function that Gary Johnson wanted. Wickens going long, but to nobody in particular.
Just dropped off a little bit in the last few minutes again.
Pace of the game.
Yeah, I guess maybe with the changes that are being made, it's it's just become a little bit disjointed. But certainly the ascendancy that Stone's had in the first few minutes of this half has waned slightly.
Yeah, had a lot more energy in those first 20 minutes. And now Torquay are backing, not control, but they're having more possession.
I think that's a
There's
bit harsh.
handball against Lemley Evans, and that certainly wasn't below the t-shirt line, was it, as they call it these days?
Oh, we are killing ourselves here.
Torquay losing the chance to profit on the left, and it's a Wealdstone throw through Nick Tavares. He goes long towards O'Meara. Can he hold off the two Torquay defenders? He can't. And O'Connell, recently on the pitch, wins the ball. Good pressing by Torquay, but Claydon comes away. Now Tavares looking for the pass. Wealdstone in possession.
It's a poor ball.
Yeah,
It's a really poor ball.
it wasn't too clever there, giving the ball away in that area from Claydon. Keelan O'Connell has been quite important since he's come on. He's buzzing around there. And McKenna with the ball in from the left. Wealdstone defending well, and the flick away to Nathan Ferguson, but he couldn't quite control the ball. And McKenna again. A good ball from O'Connell, but easily picked up by Wickens.
Here we go. Go on, Brownie.
Releases quickly. Now Reece Brown with a chance to use his pace, make things happen up the left flank. Lapsley is tracking back and tried to trip him there. But it's still Brown, the ball around the outside to Mundle-Smith, who scores for Wealdstone.
Go on.
Great work by Reece Brown, and good work by the referee to ignore the attempted foul by Lapsley, and he gave the ball into the position on the left, and it was cracked into the net from a narrow angle by Jaden Mundle-Smith, who was the Wealdstone hero, of course, in the second half at Barnet, getting the Wealdstone's third goal there to wrap up the points. But what a good finish, Hilsey.
It was a good goal. Oh, good finish even. Lapsley gets a yellow for his cynical lunge at Brown. But, I mean, fair play. It starts from Wickens. Wickens bowls it out to Brown, who was on his toes. Made yards. I mean, to be fair, I know we don't have replays here, but I imagine that Mundle-Smith must have made up some serious yards there to get forward and score that goal. So fair play to him.
An excellent goal, 68 minutes, pretty much the same time as Mundle-Smith scored at Barnet, and that was a cracking finish as well across the ex-Wealdstone goalkeeper Aston Oxborough in the game at Barnet, and there's no chance really for Sean McDonald. I think probably he's beaten on his near post, but he had a bit of an angle to aim at, didn't he there, Mundle? Took it very well.
Yeah, cracking reverse pass as well by Brown there, and you've seen his quality. That's why he's, well, I guess that's why he's still out there.
Yeah. Well, it really backfired for Tom Lapsley there. Mundle-Smith now tracking back and holding off, doing really well, using his strength.
I do think Torquay have lost something with Danny Wright going off. He was causing problems with the with that direct ball for them.
Well, he's a presence, isn't he?
He certainly is.
And he's intelligent. He's what I think he's late 30s now.
Yeah,
he looks younger.
You look at his record; he has scored goals for a whole host of teams at different levels. But cracking player.
It'd be interesting to know what his injury was, because that was obviously why he went off. And bringing on Lolos has backfired for Gary Johnson. And Torquay are trailing. A much more energetic performance from Wealdstone in the second half. We're up to 70 minutes, 20 minutes to go. And Torquay have got to find a way back into this game.
Goes behind Lapsley.
Not a great ball from Kiora Johnson and Lapsley. Looking a frustrated figure, isn't he, Tom Lapsley, at the moment?
I'm just looking at the sort of the body language of Mundle-Smith as that ball went off. He kind of ambled to get the ball, and I think it's too early for us to be seeing this game out. I'd like us to go and get a second.
Well, certainly Wealdstone have known all about conceding late goals in recent weeks. So they don't want to be put in that position.
It's done well.
But Torquay has certainly got it within them to get back in this game very quickly.
Exactly. We don't have to be gung-ho, but I'd like us to still show some intent here to finish this game off. Got the quality out there.
Reece Brown again turning so well. Nathan Ferguson fishing for the ball on the edge of the box. Good work by McKenna.
Good win.
Good challenge by Ashley Charles.
Good win. Torquay
He's had
arms
another
go up.
decent game, Ashley Charles. You know, he goes under the radar really, but he's always in the right position. And good work by Reece Brown and
Go
his
on,
Charles
keep it in.
Claydon.
Keep it in.
He's got plenty of time onto his
Mundle-Smith
favourite
round the
left
back.
foot.
Oh, that was a good ball.
Well delivered there, well defended.
That's not a foul.
And I think he's going to book Nathan Ferguson. Seems very harsh.
I don't think there was a lot he could do about that, but I guess it was breaking up a counter-attack.
It's seen as cynical, isn't it, by the referees, I think.
I mean, there's levels of cynical, and what Lapsley did a few minutes ago before the goal was a completely different level to what that was, but
Yeah,
but they both ended up with a yellow card.
yeah.
The injustices of football.
The inconsistencies, the injustices, why we love the game and hate the game often in equal measure. Well, we've got a Torquay
Felix.
substitute. Joe Felix is coming on. Not Yao Felix, but
No.
Joe Felix.
Yes, slightly different transfer fee for
Slightly
these two
different,
players.
slightly less well known. And I'm not seeing who came off there.
That's Winter, isn't it? Ben Winter's
Ben
gone off, I
Winter,
think.
so the right wing back, Ben Winter.
I think. No,
I think
I'm
he is.
going to retract
he's
that.
He's still out there, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, that all happened so quickly. We got very little ideas come off, but we'll go by a series
14.
of process of deduction.
Jury Johnson.
Oh, Curie Johnson. Yeah, we just had confirmation. Curie Johnson has gone off, so a more attacking bent to the Torquay side now with Joe Felix. But his pass was well picked up by Henry, not a great ball. And here's Reece Brown looking for options. And ball up the line will be a Wealdstone throw. Good work by Claydon.
Movement on the Stones bench as well. Looks like Charlie Cooper might be making an entrance.
I think you're right, Hilsey. Cooper, and that'll be to batten down the hatches a little bit.
Who are we saying? Charles?
I think Charles, yeah. Oh, Nathan Ferguson. That could be because he's on a booking, of course.
Where's he gone?
But a straight swap in central midfield.
Who's that?
Cooper on for Ferguson. And Nathan Ferguson gets a round of applause from the officials gathered to see this game behind closed doors. He's done well, Nathan Ferguson. He's a very smooth operator, moves the ball around, and he's a good big unit in there.
I think he's the
Makes
kind
his
of player
presence
who you sort of don't notice him when he's there, but you do miss him when he's not there.
A bit like Ashley Charles, really, in many ways. Good work by Reece Brown as well. Wouldn't have put money on him keeping possession there, but he's kept possession and won a throw.
A few Torquay players and a few officials getting a bit upset with the officials here.
Well, maybe the thin end of the wedge for Torquay, as Wealdstone had last Saturday against Wrexham. A very hanging cross. Looked like it might cause more problems than it did. But Mundle-Smith wins the throw-in on the far side. Ball in there was from Claydon. Josh Umer on the turn.
Go on, get that.
Charlie Cooper trying to get involved in midfield. And here's a break on the right for Duke McKenna. Good covering by Conor McAvoy.
Yeah, McAvoy's had a very good game, actually.
He's always solid, isn't he?
Yeah.
Very athletic, very switched on.
His decision making's been very, very good this game. That's
And
it,
Torquay being forced back. Good work by Wealdstone there. And Umera nearly nicked the ball from McDonald. Could have been interesting, but the ball's gone off for a Torquay goal kick. We've played 35 minutes of the second half. Wealdstone 1, Torquay United 0. The goal from Jaden Mundle-Smith, the Wealdstone substitute, left wing back. Good challenging by McAvoy again.
Foul.
And a foul on Henry.
Henry takes the plaudits for his passing, but the way he manoeuvres his body is far belies his youthful years.
Yeah, well, he's in that respect, he's very much like Charlie Cooper, isn't he? Who's played in the Football League, won promotion with Forest Green, was at Birmingham City. Cooper, of course, grandson of oh God, I've forgotten his name, Terry Cooper, the Leeds and England left back. So great pedigree for Charlie Cooper, and this sort of environment that Henry will thrive in, really, because he's watching some very experienced players around him.
Yeah. Got a win. Well done, Cookie.
Good work by Cook, and Charles
Very
hoists
well
the
played, very
ball
good from
upfield.
Charles as well.
Torquay with a chance down the left flank, and here's McKenna taking on Charles Claydon, waiting for the overlap. Well, the move has stalled for Torquay here, really moving it very slowly. Dean Moxey. McKenna's pass. Well,
Silly foul.
Yeah, foul by Cooper, really. Didn't really need to do that as the ball was loose anyway. Gary Johnson exhorting his team on. Not sure if you can hear it in the crowdless atmosphere here at Grosvenor Vale, but he wants his team to move the ball quickly. We're 1-0 down, he says, stating the obvious. Torquay needs to rescue this game, though, in the last 10 minutes. And they've got a decent opportunity here on the left flank.
This is where I still think they present a big threat.
It's a big threat, yeah. Armani Little, and it's gone right the way through, and Torquay have equalised, and I think Ben Winter got the touch. George Wickens exposed by that long ball from Armani Little, and Winter got the touch. Hard to tell from up here, but the ball has ended up in the Wealdstone net. And with 10 minutes to play, it's Wealdstone 1, Torquay 1.
I mean, it's a cracking ball in, to be fair.
A great delivery by the captain, Armani Little, and Winter got the decisive touch. Well, that's a corridor of uncertainty, isn't it, for goalkeepers there and for defenders. Good finish by Ben Winter, and now Wealdstone again, the curse of conceding late goals.
He's done well there, Josh.
But can they turn it around in the other direction?
Well, let's see if we've learned.
Well, I think we have to learn from that. But the ball given away by Charles, the free kick conceded rather.
Well, we've been here.
We've been here too often, to be
Too
fair.
often, yeah.
And he's Torquay on the break. But
ball.
an errant pass from Stephen Warren. He's been very good in midfield. He's knitted the play together well, I think. Warren is on loan from Sunderland. So this game could tilt either way in the last 7 or 8 minutes. Wealdstone conceding that equaliser from Ben Winter, having taken the lead through Jaden Mundle-Smith. Not a bad pass there, but good work by Lewis, and he's given the ball away, and a lovely ball. Setting free, Reece Brown, just to keep it a beat, and an important save by McDonald. He looked for a minute as though the ball was going to curve on into the net, but a lovely release pass from Aaron Henry. Put Reece Brown in, and
that's the chance.
That was a great save by Sean McDonald, I have to say. As important as the one by Wickens was in the first half. Good goalkeeping, but Torquay split asunder by that pass from Henry.
Probably had more time than he realised as well, to be fair there, Brownie.
Maybe could even have gone round the keeper, but a good save. Torquay defend it, but the ball's come loose again to Brown, and dinks the ball in towards McAvoy. It's cleared. And a good ball, a lovely ball in fact, from Ashley Charles. Claydon fiddling the ball down the line, whipped across by Reece Brown, but too high for Nick Tavares, I think it was, at the back stick. Both teams now are going to look for a winner, so we could have a thrilling last 5 or 6 minutes now. At Grosvenor Vale, Wealdstone 1, Torquay United 1. Good ball wide, Torquay in possession, asking questions on the left flank here. There's a chance for O'Connell. Played the ball inside to the edge of the box. Attempted volley is charged down by Cook. And Torquay appealing for some sort of foul on the edge of the box. And Wealdstone play the ball out through Ashley Charles. Umera's not going to make that one. And Lapsley cleans up. And Torquay now suddenly find good possession through Duke McKenna. And again, O'Connell with the ball. McKenna with the ball to the edge of the box. appeal for handball, but the referee shook his head. Here's Armani Little. And a great ball into the box again, beyond the far stick. For a moment, it looked like more problems for George Wickens. And that was, you have to say, it's delicious free kick, wasn't it, from Little?
But we talk about learning from what's happened in recent weeks. That ball, the pressure on the ball coming in is just non-existent there. We've got to do better.
And Wilson makes a substitution in the last 5 or 6 minutes. And Aaron Henry is coming off, straight swap for the very experienced Alex Dyer, Montserrat international. Who's been playing in Sweden for the last few years, came back to Wealdstone last year. He's going to calm things down in midfield. So he lost the energy of Aaron Henry, but we've got the experience and guile of Alex Dyer. And now Charlie Cooper, now Mundell Smith with a chance to attack. Joe Felix. And a good ball inside Alex Dyer. Slightly undercooked pass, not a great ball to Cooper. Not a good introduction for Alex Dyer. And Torquay holding possession on the right flank.
Oh, wow.
Well, very soft free kick.
That's called asking for it.
It's very hard to put your foot in there and do anything other than give away a free kick. And Torquay in possession on the left.
I mean, Little was already down before the challenge had been made.
Duke McKenna. He's been pretty influential in this game. Little loses possession, but gets it back again. Driving towards the Wealdstone box. This is dangerous. Torquay, a great effort from distance, dipping just over the bar of George Wickens. And that would have had Torquay fans on their feet in the Techno-Ovo stand where they're allowed in this afternoon. No doubt those watching at home also have been expecting the ball maybe to dip in under the George Wickens crossbar, but it's still 1-1 here at the Vale. Which was the situation last season, Hilsey.
It was
1-1. Torquay got a very late winner through Billy Waters.
Yeah, I was actually at that game as well.
After Josh Umer had come on a sub, funny enough.
Who scored our goal that day, do you remember?
Danny Parish.
Danny Parish, now with Hastings United.
Yeah.
What deal with that Cookie?
Cookie did well there. Jack Cook for Wilson. McAvoy plays the ball up. Umero would have been offside, so he ducks out. Felix buzzing away. It's a good ball through. Felix looking for it, but that's easy for George Wickens. Yeah, Wealdstone were dismayed. Torquay were leading the league last season at that point, but Wealdstone did very well. We're leading 1-0. Torquay came back to 1-1. And then Billy Waters, who also scored a very late equaliser in the 1-1 draw at Plainmoor that season between these teams.
Touch.
Well, was that a foul on Claydon? Apparently not.
No.
McKenna won the ball. O'Connell up the line. And here's Lemony Evans making tracks past Jack Cook. He's got to be careful here. And the ball comes in and the flag has gone up. Torquay thought they'd scored. And the fourth official is telling the Torquay management team to calm down. How could he see that? They're ranting. Well, the ball surely, Hilsey, was played from the byline there, wasn't it?
I mean,
unless
the
it was
very well
offside earlier, I don't see how they came to that conclusion. Well, a bit of controversy there, and here's Wilson on the break, but Sean McDonald will see that one reach his area and bowls it out. Ball very neatly put away, you have to say, and good work by Lemony Evans as he got past Jack Cook. But the linesman's flag went up, and here's a chance from McKenna again. Torquay looking dangerous down the left flank. Here's O'Connell. Back to McKenna. He's shot this charge down. It's going to go out for a corner unless Mundell Smith rescues it, which he does. And Wealdstone living on tenterhooks as we go into the last few minutes. I make it 88 minutes. So there'll be a bit of injury time for the substitutions. And a couple of injuries.
Not 6 minutes.
Well, yeah, controversial 6 minutes added on by the referee for the Wrexham game last week, which allowed Wrexham to nick a winner. Yeah, I think the referee, really, Wealdstone were game management to the extreme in that, and the referee was adding on time to counteract that, I think.
But what I didn't understand was surely you warn the player, i.e. George Wickens first, and then give him a yellow, not just keep adding time on.
Well, maybe he added time on. No, it wouldn't have been after the yellow card because he could well have been sent off, couldn't he? So I'm not sure what the situation was there.
Right,
But
Wealdstone
was certainly
offload it, Josh.
trying not to lose the ball, and Josh Umara has lost it there. McAvoy trying to fend off a challenge, and he did very well. He's so strong. There's Joe Lewis winning the ball, and a chance from McKenna. And now Lewis to break down the left, facing Charles Claydon. And Claydon pushed him off the ball, did
Very
really
strong.
well there, using his lower centre of gravity. Trying to get the ball. Reece Brown handling the ball as it went past him. Brown appealing for a foul. He was muscled off the ball by Moxie.
4 minutes.
4 added minutes.
Turn on that, Charlie.
So who's going to take the ball by the horns here? Wealdstone or Torquay?
Oh, Brownie.
Bounce pass intercepted by Tom Lapsley. And Lapsley giving the ball away to Brown. Brown trying to make things happen on the edge of the box. He's got 3 around him, but he does well to get to Claydon, and Claydon back to Brown. Brownie, appeal for handball there for Wealdstone.
Time die. Don't
Quite a
hit that.
Well, don't hit that, says Hillsey, and it wasn't that far away.
Sorry, that's the wrong decision for me. On his left foot, when you've got players forward, not really under control. It's a poor decision.
Yeah,
And he should know better than that.
Yeah, he should have slid. He could have slid Umera in there. I think he was in a decent position, but it's a strong shout for a handball there, as
slapped him in the face, didn't it?
as Brown drove towards the goal. We'd like to see action replays, but we don't have them sadly today, as I've mentioned earlier. And Umera muscled off it by Winter. Good work by Jaden Mundlesmith, the Wealdstone goal scorer. Now Alex Dyer flicking the
good
ball
ball, that's
well.
a
He
good ball.
did very
Drive.
well. And Mundlesmith with a chance to. Can he release it? Might even have a go himself. Good ball, just slightly ahead of Umera. He's still got possession. Gives the ball inside. Claydon across the box, too high and too hard. Sadly for Reece Brown.
No, that's
Nick
Claydon.
Tavares. Is that Claydon?
Claydon.
I'm sorry, yeah, Claydon.
Smallest man on the pitch.
Yeah. Yeah, that was much too hard driven in. And a
Fair
good
play to Stones though. We're still having a go here.
Well, arguably either side could have won this in the last few minutes. There may still be drama to come. We're into the last couple of minutes now of added time. O'Connell trying to make things happen. Good work by Alex Dyer. And Brown unable to protect it, and a foul given away by Dyer. Brown's got to be careful here. Yeah, he's going to be booked here, Reece Brown. Now Armani Little, not quite the position for the equalising goal, but
ref, surely.
and it's going to be McDonald to take the free kick. Wealdstone with a pretty high line, and not a great free kick, not the area intended, but Torquay has still got a good position, and it's lofted towards the back stick, but harmlessly. And well, Hillsey, do you think both teams, going to be happy to settle for a point now?
I think from where we were at half time, I think Stuart will be pleased with the point. Much more for the reaction that I think we've had from the second half.
Yeah.
The cynic would say it's more lost points from a leading position.
Yeah, again, Wealdstone have been in the lead, and it looks at the moment as though we're going to drop at least 1 point, 2 points.
But it's not, if it indeed that is that, it's not a bad point. It's just maintains that gap, keeps us above all the shot and Maidenhead and what have you.
But what will transpire in the last 1.5 minutes, I think it is. I think Matt Saunders there has shown that he was quite happy with with a point by flicking the ball into where the crowd would have been. There's a long throw from Dean Moxie now.
They've nicked 10 yards there.
Yeah, Moxie taking all the space he can, and he's got past. And there's a appeal for a handball. Waved away by the referee. That would be a very harsh decision. Although, again, we'd like to see that one back again. It looked like a Wealdstone arm, but it wouldn't have been intentional. Down by his side, and the referee waves it away. Lapsley playing the long diagonal, and the head around. There's a chance for Cooper. It's Cooper putting through Brown, who's come off his heels. In fact, Cooper could have broken from the halfway line at that moment. And the referee blows his whistle for full time at Grosvenor Vale, and we have a point apiece. It's it's a moot point, isn't it? Would we have settled beforehand? Probably Wealdstone would have settled for a point. Torquay, maybe as it game transpired, would have settled for a point. Coming back from 1-0 down, they got a good equaliser through Ben Winter after Jaden Mundle-Smith had put Wealdstone into the lead. Slightly against the run of play, you might say. Torquay had the better of the first half.
Much the better of the first half, but I thought we were much improved the second half, and it was a game. In the second half, it was a sort of few chances, few quality chances. Although obviously Brownies had that big one at 1-1, you know, one-on-one with the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
You expect a player of his calibre to score that. So maybe we are a little bit disappointed not to have come away with 3 points there.
Well, Rhys Brown just been named manager of the match by Oldfield.
Manager of the match?
Man of the match. Manager of the match. There's another whole new award.
Player of the match these days.
Player of the match. Oh, yeah, yes. Person of the match. Person of the match. Rhys Brown, Wealdstone number 10, who, as he said at earlier Hills, he had the best chance. He created the goal, didn't he, for Mundle-Smith, that reverse pass.
He did, yeah.
Chance to win it, but really on chances, I think it probably ended up pretty much level. Be interesting to see the match stats. 2 or 3 chances for each team, decent chances, taken and not taken. So I think
it's probably a fair result.
A draw is a fair result. So we'll leave you with those thoughts here at Grosvenor Vale. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully by the time Wealdstone have got a home game again, which is Weymouth, on the 12th of March, the fences will be in place and we'll be able to welcome a crowd back here again to Grosvenor Vale. And we leave a lovely floodlit scene on what was a beautiful day largely, wasn't it? Very sunny. Not a bad game of football. But
I'm going to go and warm myself up now, though.
Good idea. Bovrils all round, I think. Thanks for watching. Final score from Grosvenor Vale, Wealdstone 1, Torquay United 1.